Okay, we have one more scheduled speaker today, and his evaluator is John Navarro. John, will you please unmute and tell us a little about what we're going to hear next?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Our next speaker is working on his team collaboration pathway. Today, he will be working on level 3, connect with your audience. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. To do this, he will be interviewing a fellow Jackpot member. From 13 to 15 minutes, Greg Bjorgo. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, John. Our next presenter relishes the opportunity to interview successful people. The reason? He's convinced that 99% of all successful behavior is identifying what successful people do, identifying how they do it, understanding why they do it, and then simply doing just that. With his interview of a fellow Jackpot member, What's Her Story? Please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Greg Bjorgo.
Jackpot Speakers is always one of the highlights of my week. The reason? I always learn from so many talented members that are willing to share of themselves. And the person we'll be talking with today exemplifies that. She's friendly, she's warm, she's caring, and she gives so much of herself. Help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Nadia Gilks.
Hello, Greg. How are you?
It's great to see you again, Nadia. Thanks for joining us here today. Nadia, let's talk a little bit about your Toastmasters experience. How did you get started with Toastmasters?
I got started in Toastmasters in 2010. I was volunteering with the Alzheimer's Association as a part of their speakers bureau, and I wanted to get better and more succinct at giving those presentations. So I looked for an organization that could help me, and I found Toastmasters when I was living in Arlington, Texas.
Well, obviously then, Jackpot Speakers was not your first club.
No.
Okay, all right. Now, you are currently serving as the Vice President of Education. What's the reason that you've chose to serve in this role?
Well, the main reason I chose to serve in this role is because fellow Jackpotter Sherry asked me.
Good reason. I've been there.
She's quite persuasive, and I love Jackpot. When I moved to Las Vegas in 2016, and I joined Jackpot not long after, this club has given me so much. The members are so amazing, and so this is my first club position here, club officer position, and I just really enjoy preaching the goodness of pathways and getting people started on their journey and being a champion in that way. So I actually love the role.
Fantastic. Specifically, how have you benefited by serving as a club officer?
I think there's a lot of benefits. When everybody walks through the doors of a Toastmasters meeting, they initially have the public speaking aspect in mind, but all of the club officer roles lead you on a different journey. It focuses on the leadership, and I feel all the skills are translatable to the real world, regardless of what you do. So every single club officer role that we have definitely builds that arsenal for all of us. And I've had, I believe, about 4 club officer roles to date.
Fantastic, and I agree completely with you. Nadia, last year you served as the District Public Relations Manager, and the year before you served as the District Logistics Manager. What was the reason that you chose to serve in those positions?
I had been serving ever since I got to Las Vegas. I started at the area director position, and that following year, Tim Mullins was our district director, and he said that that role wasn't filled for the logistics manager position. And he was very excited when he came to me. He said he liked to break glass ceilings and do something a little different. And at that time, District 33 had never had a woman logistics manager. So he asked me to be the first, and I accepted, not completely knowing what the role entailed, but absolutely loved it. And people were happy with the way that I served and started to model that in their own clubs at the sergeant at arms position. And the following year, when we broke off into our own district for 115, I was asked to be the public relations manager by Steve Goldstein. And I'm one of those people that really loves to serve our members and see people thrive. So if there's a space for me and I'm asked to serve, I will.
Fantastic. And you've been recognized for your service, Nadia. 2 years ago, you were the district awarded you the Spark Plug of the Year. And last year, our district awarded you the Toastmaster of the Year. What did you do that stood out?
Well, just to clarify, it was reversed, but
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes.
that's okay. But again, I think when it came to the logistics manager role, just going above and beyond. I love event planning, and we had the conference in California that I had a heavy hand in making sure that stayed on schedule, along with the district trainings that we held throughout the year, where you have to corral all the area and division directors and make sure that everyone's on time, and doing that with grace, but with efficiency, and making sure that everybody had what they needed and we all followed agendas. And I think people just saw that as a more elevated way that I handled that role. And for the public relations manager, I really aimed for the new district to really just make us a global presence. So I was out interacting with people as much as I can on social media to really get our name out there and get us into different events and put us on a world stage. And I was successful in that. So I think in both of those ways, really taking the role and making it my own and thriving in it, and showing other people that you don't have to hold yourself in a box or just go with tradition. You can add a little extra to any role that you hold.
Fantastic. Now, you currently serve as a district club mentor chair. What does that involve?
That is an exciting role. I love, again, serving our district. I love growth. I love helping to launch new clubs. And the mentor chair is responsible for selecting and mentoring those who will be a mentor for brand new clubs. So when a club is chartered, they can have a mentor for 6 months. It's asked that the person serves for 6 months. We are asking that people serve a little bit longer and just guide them so that the new club knows all of the positions that need to be filled. Maybe sit in with them on their executive board meetings so they know how to conduct one, make sure they know the flow of a meeting, and just get them started on a strong foundation. So I train the people that will serve as the mentors, and that has been fun. We have a couple new clubs that are chartering soon, and I hope several more throughout the course of this year. And I'm just really excited at the growth for our district.
I'm impressed, and that's a critically important role that you play. Now, you're also serving as the District Toastmasters Leadership Institute virtual event or the virtual event executive producer. What does that involve?
That's a role that was semi-created for me. I'm the VEEP. That is for District 1, actually. And I've also joined a club in California because, again, we've had this platform with everybody being on Zoom all over the world. And that entails really planning their TLIs for them. We had a very successful one this past July where over 650 people attended. Almost 86% of their club officers were trained in that major TLI, and we did have some makeups the following month to get the rest of the officers trained. And we are now in the planning stages for the January TLI. So that consists of getting the speakers, getting the slide decks so that everybody's on the same page, figuring out the Zoom rooms, the licensing. It's been quite an ordeal because they do have such a large district, but it's been very rewarding because people have been very happy with the end result. So this January, we are hoping to have a very secret special guest that is well known, and I am praying that all goes well. So feel free to join us in District 1 if you can't make it to District 115 TLI.
Fantastic. Please let us know the dates and times, and that does sound exciting. Now, these two roles are a lot of responsibility, and I'm sure that there's a significant time commitment. Now, with that in mind, how are you personally benefiting and growing from serving in these roles?
You know, this coronavirus, as Alex sang so lovingly about just a few moments ago, it has been hard for many people, but if you are open-minded, you really can thrive. This has awakened skills I never anticipated to hone, much less build a business from, but I've become so well at using Zoom that I've turned that into a virtual event planning business. And that TLI in July and the one that we're planning in January, those were pretty much training grounds for me, honing those skills, handling a massive amount of people, coordinating a lot of different speakers and schedules and Zoom licenses, etc. And from there, I've been able to book several events for others and become a VEO, as I call myself, a virtual event organizer. So now you can book Nadia Presents if you want to turn your event into a virtual event.
Fantastic. How would our members and guests learn more about that service, Nadia?
Well, my phone number is all over the internet, so you can always call me 817-789-8949. And I can also be reached by email, connect with me at nadiagilks.com, and I can talk with you, listen to what your event plan is, and craft something that will be engaging for your audience. I like to say I offer professionalism with a little bit of pizzazz.
Oh, fantastic. Now, you're a multi-talented individual. You're also a published author. Tell us about the book that you wrote.
Thank you so much. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary, and my book is called Woke Up Dead. And it's about a woman who actually wakes up at her own funeral, but it's actually a humorous story. It's not any vampires or ghouls and goblins. It's a humorous, real life, fictionalized story where she has to put her life back together after she's been on YouTube and her family is treating her awkwardly. And I take you through the journey of what that looks like when maybe you went virtual and got your 15 minutes of fame, but it didn't quite turn out the way you wanted it to. And now you're picking up the pieces. So it's a fun story to get people to think about what they want their end of life plans to be, and hopefully inspires people to create wills and trusts and those other documents that are so necessary.
Fantastic. Now, I got a question that just came to mind. Has Toastmasters helped you become a better writer?
Well, it definitely helps me organize because speeches definitely have to have a opening, body, and conclusion. Otherwise, you'll get dinged for that in your evaluations. And I would say that more than helping my writing, it's definitely helped my video presence, because 2 years ago, I would have never been on a YouTube video or a Zoom call. I didn't like myself on video. And now with some of those projects, both in the traditional path and in pathways, being on video and critiquing yourself are some of those projects, and it's helped you get over that fear, along with listening to experts who say, get over yourself because it's not about you, it's for the audience. So I definitely take that away from Toastmasters.
Fantastic. And you come across as so warm and friendly and just so relaxed and natural. And it's obvious that, I remember 3-4 years ago, looking at videos of you, and even just a year ago, you've really grown, and I applaud you. Now, you have a lot of experience and a lot of insight when it comes to Toastmasters, Nadia. What advice would you give somebody that's relatively new to Toastmasters?
Well, I would say don't be afraid of the process. Don't be afraid to jump in and experience Toastmasters. If someone asks you to do a role, it's because they believe in you and they know that you can do it, and they will be there to guide you. When I first went to a Toastmasters meeting in 2010, I absolutely loved it. And I said, I'm going to join. And when I went back the next week, they had elections and I was voted VPM 1 week out. So, I said, if you believe I can do it, I'll do it. And there's so much guidance with our Toastmasters Leadership Institute and with the other seasoned people in the club who want to see you thrive. And that's just what we are here. We're a family that wants to see you thrive. So we aren't going going to leave you out there blowing in the wind. We are going to guide you and coach you so that you can shoot for your goals and be your very best.
One final question for you, Nadia. You obviously give so much of yourself and contribute, not just at the club level, but at the district level as well. Shep talked earlier about the importance of having a big why. What is your big why?
I've been thinking about that the last couple of years, just trying to figure out my purpose, and everything that I love to do in life. It lends itself to helping people build their legacy, whether it's preaching about having wills, or it's doing memory quotes for people, or it's helping people when they're crafting their speeches so that they can go on and get promotions or accomplish whatever their dreams are. I like to help people build their legacies. So my why is really putting in on other people's successes and seeing them thrive. That makes me feel good that I'm leaving my own little bit of a legacy as I'm helping other people build theirs.
Well, fantastic. Well, you certainly are doing that, especially here within Toastmasters. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk with you today. I really appreciate our conversation. I appreciate you and everything that you do for Toastmasters. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Thank you.
It's been my pleasure today to host this interview. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Nadia. What a wonderful interview.